But the libraries also enable, for example, young people to have a quiet space in which to study. And I'm told that in Hornchurch Central Library, young people have actually made it known that they felt they've been able to succeed in their exams by having a quiet place in which to study like that, and have paid tribute to it. So I think with that and with the development of computer facility there, that it can be quite an important tool for people to increase their cultural awareness.
You know, we will often talk about in this borough, one of the things that are concern us is about fear of crime, and that fear of crime comes from the elderly. We can get the elderly and the young to meet together in those libraries, and for the elderly to see that some of our youngsters out there, they're absolutely great, our youngsters, and if our elderly community can see that, then they'll be less fearful of young people hanging about on the street. And therefore, in that way, you can see that libraries can be a really, really focal point for those communities coming together, allowing some of those people that have life experiences to participate and pass those life experiences on.
I think it was a couple of years ago now, I was invited to hear Bishop Desmond Tutu speak at the Guildhall in London. I went for two reasons. A, to hear Desmond Tutu speak, which is just, you know, a huge privilege. Second thing, of course, was to go and see that fantastic building, that sort of, you know, medieval Gothic building. But one of the most important things that Desmond Tutu said, I think, which is something which echoes something which I've been saying for a little while, he was talking particularly about conflicts between black Africans in Zimbabwe and black Africans in South Africa, and how, because of the problems in Zimbabwe, millions of people crossed the border into South Africa, and this caused real conflict, real tension between black Zimbabweans and black South Africans. And he said one of the causes for it, in his view, was people did not know how to use their own language, didn't understand the richness of it. So it meant that when people were feeling frustrated or angry or had concerns, they didn't know how to express it. Apart from in some very coarse and basic ways, it really doesn't get the intensity or the breadth of the emotion across. And equally it means when people used the language correctly back to those individuals, they felt they were being talked down to, they felt they were being patronised, and yet they weren't. And we all know that it's through education, through language, that people pull themselves up out of poverty and make life better. And also, as he was saying, because of that, if you get this inability to express through words what you feel or what you think, you then get mental health problems, you get stress, you get anger, because everything's bottling up. You haven't got a way to get it through. So, yeah, reading is the key to everything. You can't fruitfully take part in a democratic society, I think, unless you can assimilate the information that's being given to you and be able to say, this sentence is wrong, this idea I don't agree with. If you can't get the words that are being used to get it through to you, then you're at a real disadvantage.
Nationally, there has been a feeling, I think, that the days for libraries may be numbered with other forms of media, with perhaps the movement away from books to recorded computer material and other types of information, that the concept of libraries may be something which is a bit outdated. And so to be spending fairly sizable sums of public money on the libraries rather than other things, and there's always something else to spend money on, was an act of faith, I think, because we, at the beginning, didn't know that the programme would be quite as popular as it has been, and we couldn't be certain that the public would respond to the improved libraries by using them more. So in that sense, I think it was an act of faith.
Well, I think that the regeneration of the 10 libraries has been one of the most important projects that we've undertaken over the last 4 or 5 years. When we first came into power, I think we had a report that said something like of the 10 libraries, it's going to cost about £40 million, which is a lot of money to find. But what we said is we would phase the libraries programme, and that's what we've done. So we've been going around the borough, library after library, ensuring that we redevelop. Some we've redeveloped, some we've built, some's just been a new coat of paint, but all of them now, apart from the Raynham one, which is going to be done soon, have now been completed. Well, I think in Havering it's particularly important. We have quite a lot of elderly residents in our borough, and therefore with the closure of post offices, it's a good thing that libraries are in existence, so that people can go there and enjoy the facilities, not just the books that they might rent out, but also they can go there and use it, as we call it, a living room, a community living room. And you can see that that's the type of concept we've tried to develop as we've moved on with all our libraries.
I'm absolutely delighted that we have this brand new facility here at the heart of the community. And I know how much local residents, people who've spoken to me, people living locally here, have really been at the heart of the planning, the programming, making sure that the ideas, the themes, all the approaches are put into effect. And I have absolutely no doubt, and I've seen it already just standing here, watching all the people coming in and by, despite all of the ceremony that we're going through at the moment, but using this place, taking books out, using the facilities, because of course there's this wonderful receptacle of knowledge that we have here with all of the books and everything like that, but it's about making this a meeting point, making this something that everyone feels is their library, and I think that that is very much at the fore in what's been achieved with this project.
And why is reading so very important to us? And the reason why it's important is because reading transforms lives. Whether it's a novel that you're reading and you get caught up in the characters or the environment or the atmosphere, whether it's crime, sci-fi, some great classic, there's something about reading which we can't define why it does it. We can just explain the symptom, which is that it moves you inside, it makes life better, and it just gives extra richness to the way that we see things. Reading transforms lives. And thinking about why it does that, I was actually thinking about some words which a very famous writer, favourite writer of mine, very famous writer called Dostoevsky said to explain why is it we don't know why it works, but it does. And he said two things. One thing he said is people are not 2 + 2 is 4. There is nothing rational or logical or reasonable about people, because everybody can look at a book and one person will love it and one person will hate it. We are not 2 + 2 is 4.